Hey, what's up, everybody? Bdf 44 coming at you with another video. All right, I'm in good spirits. The water has since stopped leaking. They got that fixed. We did a makeshift, I don't know if that's the right word, makeshift mop, where homie took a broom and put like an old rag over the broom and stuck a hole in the rag itself so that it would cover over the broomstick, and it worked just fine. I love that. I love that. I'm the type of person that will take that and use that idea for the rest of my life. Because if there's no mop, you can make one. And so I think in a situation like that, I was like a little skeptical, but I laughed about it. And when I started using it, I'm like, yo, this is a mop. It literally worked. And so, yeah, man, I appreciated that. I'm one of those people that's not going to ask anybody to clean up after me, even though I didn't make the mess. I didn't ask them to bring in somebody to mop for me. I'm like, yeah, let me just borrow a mop. I'll wipe it myself. Trying to work with them, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I know what they're dealing with. This is a lot. And I don't think that's the only problem that they had going on today, because they seem to be scrambling. But I just don't want to, make things harder for people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, let me take care of what I can take care of. You guys just manage shutting off what caused the water problem, and I'll clean up the water myself. And we'll work together, man. So that's really what it is, man. I know how it feels when you're getting started in something and it's a lot going wrong at once. First week and everything's going wrong. The last thing you want is people complaining and being all needy and stuff. Just show me what I can do to help make life smooth, and remember me as somebody who did that. That's always my attitude. Remember me when I need help. See to it I have it, and I will help you and work with you. So that's gonna be my attitude in all situations in life. Try to give people breaks, man, especially when things are already chaotic. Don't be part of the problem with your frustrations with your portion of the problem. Is what ultimately my mother raised me to try to be. So yeah, man, I'm having a good day, all things considered. I was able to draft most of my teams. Had some auto pick draft issues, but ultimately I was able to determine what was on most of my teams much better than I was in the previous day. We had a lot of draft schedule, so I had fun doing that. And because of how they set it up, you get that done early. Like, even though you had like 8 or 9 drafts, they're all scheduled at the same time. If people don't come in, they just reschedule them for a different day to which they wouldn't be scheduled at the same time. So I kind of like how Flea Flicker has it set up. I hope that app gets more notoriety. In fact, it's the type of thing that I would, if I were just an investor, I would invest in Flea Flicker to assure that the word spreads about them, because what they provide is significantly more opportunities to draft more teams than the other guys. They're not a pay fantasy platform, and I know that's like the big thing right now. People are likely want to invest in money platforms. So it wouldn't be the first thing I'd probably invest in if I was interested in that kind of thing. But if you just like non-pay platforms where you can get a bunch of teams, I think ESPN and Yahoo and those guys underestimate the nut jobs out here like myself who want 50, 100 teams or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are people out here like me who don't even find ourselves close to satisfied with just 6 teams or just 25 teams. You got nut jobs out here like myself who want 100 teams a year. And I do. That's why I get on multiple platforms. Right now, I have gotten all of my Yahoo platforms maxed out. I got all of my ESPN's 25 maxed out. I plan on getting all 50 of what's available from Flea Flicker as well, and that's where I cut it off. That's nearly 70 teams that I manage a year, and I've been managing like that for 3 years. And then on football, I'm pretty crazy too. I don't do the Flea Flicker thing, but I max out the 25 on ESPN, and the 6 that you're given or 7 that you're given off NFL Network, and then probably the 6 or 7 that you're given on Yahoo as well. I max all those out. I'm just a real fantasy nut. When it comes to drafting, I have a passion for it, and I try to manage most of the teams. I usually end up falling off somewhere down the road, but it's more so about drafting and putting together the teams than it is about managing them for me. But yeah, we're out here, man, and so Flea Flicker for me is my favorite because it allows me more teams. So yeah, that's just something I want to say. I know not a lot of people know about Flea Flicker, but if you're a fantasy sports fan, I think they're a good platform to check out. So, yeah, that's what I want to say. Obviously that's just my little stuff. I don't think most people care about that type of thing. Um, Sports, we cover the Lakers like crazy on this channel, as you guys know. I think a good portion of the people who subscribe to me here for the Lakers. But I also talk about things that have nothing to do with the Lakers, things that matter to me, things that you would consider political, things that have to do with my personal life. I'm just an open book, as you guys know. And if you've been following me throughout the course of the last couple of years, then you already know that. If you're one of my day one subscribers, I got stuff on here that you probably remember that I don't remember putting on here. That's how seriously in-depth my channel has been over the last 8 years or so since I started it. There are videos on here that I saw once and never again. Memories that in my head I don't remember but are actually documented on this channel. It's the weirdest dynamic of 2025 that you can have such a dynamic to where things you've forgotten other people may have watched this morning. So this is a different world, and I'm happy to be in it because it allows for me to document my personality in my life and just circumstances, and it keeps a memory for you. When you consider about I think of Alzheimer's and different dementias and stuff like that. This gives us an opportunity to revisit our lives and for our loved ones to help us understand who we are if ever you lose your memory, or if ever something like that were to be possible in your life. The era that we're in will allow us to go back to our own channels and literally relive our entire lives. You know what I mean? If for some reason your memory gets wiped. So that's a dynamic that I don't think it's really explored much when you consider, different things that are possible with the internet. The internet is an entirely different level of documentation that the past just simply was never privy to, never had an opportunity to have. So that's another thing that I use my channel for. It's just like it's an automatic memory bank, because my memory is fair but not great. So yeah, man, that's really what I'm thinking about. I just wanted to come on this channel and document a very unique day for me because of how this day has been. Getting up earlier than usual, about an hour earlier, getting all my exercise done, showering, this, that, and the third, just to draft my teams at 8 o'clock, only to find out that the time that I would normally be doing all of that, suddenly there was a massive flood in my unit, which would have caught me right dead in the middle of my shower, or right early in the middle of drying off or something. That's when it started. So that's how the day has been. I still got a lot of day left. I thought about doing some art. I siphoned through some music. Of course, I always want to look to make playlists. And some music came out last night. I still got a lot to sort through. I found some stuff, but there's still not determined whether or not this has been a good week for music or not, but it's definitely been a good year. And I'm very thankful for that. So, I just came on here, obviously, with everything that's going on in the world. Charlie Kirk having been assassinated 2 days ago. Before all of our eyes, and the discrepancy between what it is that we were seeing versus what it is that's reality. I've seen them all. I've seen everything. They had every angle that they had available to us of his shot. I know of the thing on the right side or the left side. I think it's his right side, his right side of his shirt that appears to travel from here right to where the hole in his neck ultimately was. No one has been able to explain to me what the hell that is. It looks like it could be a microphone. I know some people are saying, well, he has a mic in his hand, and also, why would there be a mic here as well as a mic in his hand? Sometimes they double mic just as a backup. I don't know, but I think there could be a legitimate explanation for why there would be a mic there. But I wasn't certain that was a mic, and where did it go? Did it fall on the ground? Or was this some type of weird technology that simulates something else taking place prior to what we feel we saw there? Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. When it comes to his assassination, I need somebody to explain to me what the hell that was. And I've yet to see anybody be able to legitimately do that. Also, in listening to Real Godiva Goddess, she brought out some receipts that showed that Israel was ahead of his passing. They literally wrote articles on him being shot before he was actually shot. Published one of the articles before it actually happened. So, needless to say, the evidence is pointing at Israel having really did this. But of course, they arrested some guy, some young person. They said it was a conservative white guy who they said did this. And I don't know if he's some MK Ultra stuff. Who knows? I'm not really certain if they warped his mind and did something weird to him. I think that could be a real thing. That they're sending people out into the open air with intentions of doing horrible things, specifically to manipulate realities for the rest of us to fight one another over. I think that the stabbing on the bust in Charlotte, it was at Charlotte, somewhere in North Carolina, could potentially have been one of those type of situations. It's been said that the brother that stabbed her said that the government did something to him. I never heard that come out of his mouth personally, but listened to trusted sources that essentially said that's what was said there. And then I look at the Charlie Kirk situation, and I see how people, the administration is literally coming out saying the radical left are ultimately to blame for this without actually having anyone in custody at the time. So clearly they're trying to manipulate this so that we're fighting one another. And I just want to let people know what it is I'm seeing. Essentially, Godiva Goddess brought out the most compelling bit of evidence to show that this was not as it seems, and that it is in fact the same people who are doing every damn thing else in this world, it seems, just pinning people against one another, killing people for their skin color, and doing all types of false flags, sacrificing their own people. This is yet another one of those things where everything's pointing back to Israel, and Israel needs to be and this is a oxymoron, but Israel needs to be honest about what it is that we see out there. They made mistakes in this particular situation, and the receipts are out there for people to see. And so whether they like it or not, the receipts are out there. That's the bottom line. And that's what people need to understand. You could follow these narratives if you want, but the evidence is in place. This isn't 1965. They can't just pop somebody and tell you somebody else did it and you have nothing to fact check. You got people all over the internet following leads of many kinds, pairing them against one another, and ultimately coming back with different types of receipts than what it is that your news is giving you. It's just a different time. And the powers that be that ultimately manipulate things need to understand that these people are not only out here, but they're communicating with people like myself by way of their platforms, and they're showing us that your lies are exposed in real time. So what are you going to do about it? Because you can't keep standing on lies and expecting people to just continue to not trust the sources that are bringing the receipts to us. They're bringing the receipts. And this is not you don't have a people problem. It's a systematic issue. If you do something to the people who are bringing us the receipts, the environment for which new people would bring new receipts is still going to be there. You can't stop that. This is not a situation where you kill off the leader just like you did with Fred Hampton, kill off the Malcolm X, kill off and you don't have the problem no more. No, the internet is fluid, it's vast. It continues to share and inspire and show surveillance footage of random things that people are pointing their cameras at all over the world. So that's what I'll say. It's nice, and you can only lie and manipulate realities to a point when cameras are literally everywhere. So I don't know what the powers that be want to do, but at this point, the stuff that they've been trying to do, the stuff that worked for their forefathers, is not working for them. And this Charlie Kirk manipulation crap, and this guy that they've arrested trying to throw us into a frenzy about our identity politics, and now the liberal people sitting here saying, see, we knew it was one of y'all, just another one, a white situation, a white guy. It's like, well, when you understand that the Democrats and the Republicans are both compromised by AIPAC, then you should not be surprised when you see something like this take place. You should not, it's understood. They're taking money. They're paying both sides, man. So you can't just simply say, oh, the liberals are the good guys and the conservatives are the bad guys, or vice versa. They're both the bad guys. And there are certain people in both sides that are not part of the play. They don't know what's going on there. They just believe what they believe, and they're manipulated like everybody else who's in the dark. And that is the confusing thing for a lot of us to understand. There are people who are in on the play as it pertains to these circumstances, and there are people who are not, who genuinely believe their points of views and ultimately being weaponized against one another. We need to make sure that we become as informed as we can, and to understand that there's always a middleman looking to have us fight with one another, manipulating circumstances, so that we will be fighting one another, and of course not pointing our attention at them as they look to benefit from our fight. Don't be an idiot. That's what I'm essentially saying to everybody. Stop letting them toy with you in that way, because that plays right into their hands. This is chess, not checkers at the end of the day. When it comes to life, and it's particularly in a space like America where we've done wrong and now we want everybody to still look at us as the moral police. What it really comes down to is certain lies have to be believed, and certain people have to be at odds with one another in order for this thing to continue to stand on its hypocrisy as it does. And that's what ultimately I'm here as a grown man in this era to help us through, navigate the realities and normalize the conversations that ultimately we're supposed to compartmentalize and brush aside as political or conspiracies or whatever. No, these are conversations just like anything else. You can have this conversation just like you talk about music, just like you talk about fantasy football, just like you talk about the Lakers, just like, you know what I'm saying? Just like you talk about your favorite song or your favorite movie. There's nothing that we need to aside in regards to these conversations anymore. They should be right there in our front door as we're eating popcorn, watching the game. There's nothing weird about stating claims of what it is that you feel in your religion, or ultimately what it is you feel in your politics, and ultimately sharing ideas with one another. There's nothing odd about that. That is a perversion of reality that is meant to keep us from asking questions and having the tough conversations. And so we need to normalize that culture, and that's exactly what I'm here to help us do. So yeah, man, that's why I talk the way I talk, and I hope that you all are receiving me well. There's things to look into, man, but at the end of the day, all roads lead back to Israel. I'm sorry, Zionist Jew. It is what it is. You are not low. You're not low. And like I said, not everybody's in on the play. There are people on your side that they can't wait to offer up the slaughter. And that's what people need to understand. None of us are special. We're all special in the sense that we're human beings and that we have ideas and that we can contribute to the world, this, that, and the third. But as it pertains to systems looking to support us over that of someone else, yeah, that is a dead ideology that's meant to keep us feeling as if we don't need to ask questions, no different than the culture of having us not want to converse about circumstances that involve real problems and real solutions that could be found within these conversations. We, the people, are not special. Not when it comes to these people at all. So if you think because you're white and you're rich that they're going to just have you be the centerpiece of everything and everybody else supposed to be under your feet, believe me when I tell you, they will offer you up to slaughter, just like they'll offer up anyone else. You are not special in that regard. If you think that you know your people, oh, we're LGBTQ, we're special, we're the ones who's supposed to be taking this. No, they don't care about none of that, bro. They'll offer you up to slaughter. Period. The end. White, black, red, gay, straight. They don't care at all. They will offer you up to slaughter. They will offer their own to slaughter. That's what we understand about the powers that be. There, no one, including any of them, are above being murdered. Period. They will offer up anyone. That is what Israel has taught me. So Israel has taught me, specifically them. With everything that they've been doing, everything that's been exposed about them, they help me understand that anyone and everyone, especially their own, are disposable of. They have and will continue to sacrifice whoever they need to for the sake of keeping forward whatever they're trying to do, man. So if you're on any of these, if you're about anything, you better be ready to die for it, is essentially what I'm saying to you. If you're standing on anything substantial in this life, you better be ready to die for it, regardless of whether you believe your moral compass is right, or if you're trying to, cheat the world and get what you want, whatever. If you're gonna line up with anybody at all, you could be losing your life over that, and that's what we know, and that's what it is. Don't let people pin you against one another. Don't let the powers that be in this propaganda crowd pin you against one another, because you don't have to fall victim to that propaganda anymore. With the evidence being in place, we can see the evidence now that our ancestors weren't privy to any of that, so they were forced into propaganda, had to think their way around it without proof. They had to put forth more faith to get their minds out of that for which has been told to them by the powers that be and their media platforms and stuff like that. We don't have that problem in the 21st century. It's essentially what I'm trying to say. We don't have that problem. You do have people telling you the truth. You just got to look in the right directions. You just got to know where to look for the evidence that it is there for you. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. Stop buying the nonsense. Turn off your TVs. Stop listening to mainstream media. Take it from somebody who's been watching the genocide. They are all liars. Both sides are compromised by the same people and will offer you up to slaughter while gaslighting you and patronizing you just the same. It is their game. Bdf 44. I thank y'all for watching.